Ancient Greece gave the world philosophy, the science of life, truth, and the soul. It was here that ideas were born which outlived centuries. Plato taught us to seek ideals. Aristotle revealed the secrets of nature. Menander found wisdom in everyday life. And Epictetus showed the path to inner freedom. Four voices of ancient wisdom, and all of them still speak to us today. Aristotle, student of Plato and teacher of Alexander the Great, one of the greatest philosophers of antiquity, founder of logic and science as systematic knowledge. His works span ethics, politics, metaphysics, and biology.
Dignity does not consist in possessing honors, but in deserving them. Education is an ornament in prosperity and a refuge in adversity. Courage is the first of human qualities because it is the quality that guarantees the others. Democracy is when the indigent, not men of property, are the rulers. Good habits formed in youth make all the difference. To write well, express yourself like common people, but think like a wise man. Or think as wise men do, but speak as common people do. It is the mark of an educated mind to be able to entertain a thought without accepting it. Educating the mind without educating the heart is no education at all. The energy of the mind is the essence of life. The best choice for each individual is the highest it is possible for him to achieve. All persons ought to endeavor to follow what is right and not what is established. Friendship is essentially a partnership. Piety requires us to honor truth above our friends. Quality is not an act, it is a habit. Wise men speak when they have something to say. Fools speak when they have to say something. He who has overcome his fears will truly be free. Patience is bitter, but its fruit is sweet. The educated differ from the uneducated as much as the living from the dead. Pleasure in the job puts perfection in the work. Character may almost be called the most effective means of persuasion. Happiness is an expression of the soul in considered actions. Hope is a waking dream. It is well to be up before daybreak, for such habits contribute to health, wealth, and wisdom. Men create gods after their own image, not only with regard to their form, but with regard to their mode of life. It is easy to perform a good action, but not easy to acquire a settled habit of performing such actions. Where your talents and the needs of the world cross, there lies your vocation. Poverty is the parent of revolution and crime. Those who educate children well are more to be honored than those who produce them, for the latter only give them life, the former give them the art of living well. Happiness depends on ourselves. At his best, man is the noblest of all animals. Separated from law and justice, he is at his worst. Obstinate people can be divided into the opinionated, the ignorant, and the boorish. Change in all things is sweet. Fear is pain arising from the anticipation of evil. The actuality of thought is life. Wishing to be friends is quick work, but friendship is a slow ripening fruit. Democracy arose from men's thinking that if they are equal in any respect, they are equal absolutely. The worst form of inequality is to try to make unequal things equal. Whatever lies within our power to do lies also within our power not to do. The ideal man bears the accidents of life with dignity and grace, making the best of circumstances. Education is the best provision for old age. Man is a goal-seeking animal. His life only has meaning if he is striving for his goals. A friend to all is a friend to none. It is not always the same thing to be a good man and a good citizen. The aim of art is to represent not the outward appearance of things, but their inward significance. A likely impossibility is always preferable to an unconvincing possibility. All human actions have one or more of these 7 causes: chance, nature, compulsions, habit, reason, passion, desire. He who has never learned to obey cannot be a good commander. The most perfect political community is one in which the middle class is in control and outnumbers both of the other classes. The aim of the wise is not to secure pleasure, but to avoid pain. For the things we have to learn before we can do them, we learn by doing them. We give up leisure in order that we may have leisure, just as we go to war in order that we may have peace. Wicked men obey from fear, good men from love. Wit is educated insolence. All human beings, by nature, desire to know. Moral excellence comes about as a result of habit. We become just by doing just acts, temperate by doing temperate acts, brave by doing brave acts. My best friend is the man who, in wishing me well, wishes it for my sake. Whosoever is delighted in solitude is either a wild beast or a god. Great men are always of a nature originally melancholy. You will never do anything in the world without courage. It is the greatest quality of the mind next to honor. He most lives who thinks most, feels the noblest, acts the best.
Menander, an Athenian playwright and master of the new comedy. His plays reflected daily life and human flaws, while his aphorisms entered the treasury of ancient wisdom.
Bad company corrupts good character. Culture makes all men gentle. He who labors diligently need never despair, for all things are accomplished by diligence and labor. The sword the body wounds, sharp words the mind. The chief beginning of evil is goodness in excess. We live not as we wish to, but as we can. Old men are children for the second time. Whom the gods love dies young. I call a fig, a spade, a spade. Marriage, if one will face the truth, is an evil, but a necessary one. The man who runs may fight again. It is not white hair that engenders wisdom. A thing hard to track is fortune. The spoken word is man's physician in grief, for this alone has soothing charms for the soul. To refrain from all injustice renders us also humane. Let bravery be thy choice, but not bravado. Riches cover a multitude of woes. Know thyself is a good saying, but not in all situations. In many it is better to say, know others. 'Tis always best to tell the truth. At every crisis, I recommend this as a chief contribution to security in life. God lends a hand to honest boldness. The person who has the will to undergo all labor may win any goal. The truth, sometimes not sought for, comes forth to the light. Intelligence, if it is clever in the direction of the better, is responsible for the greatest benefits of all. The school of hard knocks is an accelerated curriculum. Man must be prepared for every event of life, for there is nothing that is durable. Know thyself means this, that you get acquainted with what you know and what you can do. If you want to live your whole life free from pain, you must become either a god or a corpse. Being mortal, never pray for an untroubled life, but ask the gods to give you an enduring heart. What a wonderful being is the man, if he is a man. How sweet is life when fortune is not envious. How big is the little thing that was given at the right time. Respect old age, for it does not come alone. Time is the healer of all inevitable ills. Always keep in mind that things change. Remember the favor you have received and forget the favor you have given. To make the same mistake twice is not wise. A fair man never becomes rich. Health and intellect are the two blessings of life. Any man who blushes is a good man, methinks. Shyness is the citadel of beauty. The tongue has led many men to destruction. Time tests friends like fire tests gold. Time leads truth toward the light. A slip of the tongue speaks the truth. Silence alone is not an apology. Always avoid the company of a vicious man. It is always better to tell the truth. When you take, give back, and you will take again. There is safety in moderation. A wicked woman is a depository of disaster. While you do what you have to do, don't pay attention to what others are doing. If you associate with bad people, you will become one. A good wife is the salvation of a man's life. If your actions have a just cause, you will have the gods as allies. Everything is achievable through diligence and effort. Prudence is a depository of virtue. Art is man's refuge from adversity. It must be that evil communications corrupt good dispositions. Of all the wild beasts of land or sea, the wildest is woman. The truth not sought for comes forth to the light. No just person ever became quickly rich. To live is not to live for oneself. Let us help one another. No man alive can say, "This shall not happen to me." The good man makes others good. Nothing is more useful than silence. At times, discretion should be thrown aside, and with the foolish we should play the fool. By associating with wise people, you will become wise yourself. Never ask the gods for life set free from grief, but ask for courage that endureth grief. Sleep is a healing balm for every ill. Chance is a kind of God, for it preserves many things which we do not observe. Hope saves a person in the midst of misfortune. You live a good life if you don't have a wife. The character of a man is known from his conversation. Nothing bad will happen to you by distrusting your enemies. Nobody loves anybody more than himself. Women know nothing except what they want. The lack of will is very damaging. For all women, silence is beauty. The workman is still greater than his work.
Plato, student of Socrates and teacher of Aristotle, founder of the Academy in Athens, the first philosophical school of the West. His dialogues became the foundation of Western philosophy and political thought.
Truth is the beginning of every good to the gods and of every good to man. The greatest wealth is to live content with little. An empty vessel makes the loudest sound, so they that have the least wit are the greatest babblers. False words are not only evil in themselves, they infect the soul with evil. No one is more hated than he who speaks the truth. Books give a soul to the universe, wings to the mind, flight to the imagination, and life to everything. Wealth and poverty, one is the parent of luxury and indolence, the other of meanness and viciousness, and both of discontent. The right question is usually more important than the right answer. For a man to conquer himself is the first and noblest of all victories. You can discover more about a person in an hour of play than in a year of conversation. The eyes are more exact witnesses than the ears. If you do not take an interest in the affairs of your government, then you are doomed to live under the rule of fools. Wise men speak because they have something to say. Fools speak because they have to say something. Beauty lies in the eyes of the beholder. Reality is created by the mind. We can change our reality by changing our mind. If a man neglects education, he walks lame to the end of his life. Good people do not need laws to tell them to act responsibly, while bad people will find a way around the laws. Knowledge without justice ought to be called cunning rather than wisdom. People are like dirt. They can either nourish you and help you grow as a person, or they can stunt your growth and make you wilt and die. Those who tell the stories rule society. Character is simply habit, long continued. A house that has a library in it has a soul. Good actions give strength to us and inspire good actions in others. Writing is the geometry of the soul. To find fault is easy. To do better may be difficult. No wealth can ever make a bad man at peace with himself. Love is the name for our pursuit of wholeness, for our desire to be complete. The price of apathy toward public affairs is to be ruled by evil men. Lack of activity destroys the good condition of every human being. The heaviest penalty for declining to rule is to be ruled by someone inferior to yourself. I am the wisest man alive, for I know one thing, and that is that I know nothing. Ignorance, the root and stem of every evil. Human behavior flows from three main sources: desire, emotion, and knowledge. We are twice armed if we fight with faith. There are two things a person should never be angry at: what they can help and what they cannot. Poetry is nearer to vital truth than history. The direction in which education starts a man will determine his future. Know how to listen, and you will profit, even from those who talk badly. He whom love touches does not walk in darkness. Life must be lived as play. Everything that deceives may be said to enchant. Attention to health is life's greatest hindrance. It is impossible to improve the world if first the man does not improve. Our envy always lasts longer than the happiness of those we envy. Virtue is the desire of things honorable and the power of attaining them. There is in every one of us, even those who seem to be most moderate, a type of desire that is terrible, wild, and lawless. No thing more excellent nor more valuable than wine was ever granted mankind by God. Music and rhythm find their way into the secret places of the soul. The wise man will want to ever be with him who is better than himself. You take the words in the sense which is most damaging to the argument. Any man may easily do harm, but not every man can do good. Those who don't know must learn from those who do. He who wishes to serve his country must have not only the power to think, but the will to act. The evil never attains to any real friendship, either with good or evil. Twice and thrice over, as they say, it is good to repeat and review what is good. Wonder is the feeling of the philosopher, and philosophy begins in wonder. Better a little well done than a great deal imperfectly done. We do not learn. What we call learning is only a process of recollection. Knowledge becomes evil if the aim be not virtuous. The excessive increase of anything causes a reaction in the opposite direction. He who steals little steals with the same wish as he who steals much, but with less power. The mind is not a vessel to be filled, but a fire to be kindled.
Epictetus, a Stoic philosopher born a slave in Phrygia. He taught that true freedom is found through inner discipline and mastery of the mind.
The essence of philosophy is that a man should so live that his happiness shall depend as little as possible on external things. People are not disturbed by things, but by the views they take of them. A city is not adorned by external things, but by the virtue of those who dwell in it. To accuse others of one's own misfortune is a sign of lack of education. To accuse oneself shows that one's education has begun. To accuse neither oneself nor others shows that one's education is complete. In every affair, consider what precedes and what follows, then take action. Those proficient praise no one, blame no one, and accuse no one. Difficulties reveal the character of men. Events happen as they do. People behave as they are. Embrace what you get. Neither call yourself a philosopher, nor talk among the unlearned about theorems, but act according to them. When anyone provokes you, be assured that it is your opinion that provokes you. Lameness is an impediment of the leg, not of the will. Be free from grief, not through insensibility like irrational animals, nor through want of thought like the foolish, but like a man of virtue, by having reason as the consolation of grief. Fortify yourself with contentment. This is an impregnable fortress. It is better to do wrong seldom and to own it than to do wrong often, but never admit it. Keep your attention focused entirely on what is truly your own concern, and be clear that what belongs to others is their business and none of yours. Death is nothing terrible, else it would have appeared so to Socrates. But the terror consists in our notion of death, that it is terrible. He is a wise man who does not grieve for the things which he has not, but rejoices for those things which he has. No man is free who's not master of himself. What is the first business of one who practices philosophy? To get rid of self-conceit, for it is impossible for anyone to begin to learn that which he thinks he already knows. First say to yourself what you would be, then do that which you have to do. Since it is reason which shapes and regulates all other things, it ought not itself to be left to disorder. You can be invincible if you never enter into a contest that you cannot win. Reason is not measured by size or height, but by principle. No thing great is created suddenly, any more than a bunch of grapes or a fig. The origin of sorrow is this: to wish for something that never comes to pass. Freedom is secured not by the fulfilling of men's desires, but by the removal of desire. In theory, there is nothing to hinder our following what we are taught, but in life there are many things that distract us. The key is to keep company only with people who uplift you, whose presence brings out your best. If you are in pain, you will find fortitude. If you hear unpleasant language, you will find patience. If you seek truth, you will not seek to gain a victory by every possible means, and when you have found truth, you need not fear being defeated. Suffering arises from trying to control the uncontrollable, or from neglecting what is within your power to do. No matter what happens, it is within my power to turn it to my advantage. Nothing is in reality either pleasant or unpleasant by nature. All things become so through habit. Things in our control are opinion, pursuit, desire, aversion, and in a word, whatever our own actions are. If you want to improve, prepare to be thought foolish and stupid. Attach yourself to what is spiritually superior, regardless of what other people think or do. Hold to your true aspirations, no matter what is going on around you. Freedom is the only worthy goal in life. It is won by disregarding things that lie beyond your control. Nature hath given men one tongue and two ears, that we may hear from others twice as much as we speak. True instruction is this, to learn to wish that each thing should come to pass as it does. We should not moor a ship with a single anchor, nor our life with a single hope. Have this thought ever present within thee. When thou losest any outward thing, what thou gainest in its stead. When you are offended at any man's fault, turn to yourself and study your own failings. Then you will forget your anger. Everything has two handles, the one by which it may be carried, and the other by which it cannot. To you, all you have seems small. To me, all I have seems great. Your desire is insatiable. Mine is satisfied. There is only one way to happiness, to cease worrying about things which are beyond your control. If you ever happen to turn your attention to externals, for the pleasure of anyone, be assured that you have ruined your scheme of life. Seek not the good in external things, seek it in yourself. You are but an image, and not the thing you appear to be. The philosopher's school, ye men, is a surgery. You ought not to go out of it with pleasure, but with pain, for you were not in sound health when you entered. No man is able to make progress when he is wavering between two opposites. Practice the little things, then proceed to the greater ones. It is my business to manage carefully and dexterously whatever happens. Freedom and slavery, the one is the name of virtue, the other of vice. Both are acts of the will. Is freedom anything else than the power of living as we choose? First learn the meaning of what you say, then speak. Of pleasures, those which are the most common rarely give the most delight. Remember that you ought to behave in life as you would at a banquet. Any person capable of angering you becomes your master.
The voices of the ancients still whisper in our world. Their wisdom is not gone. It is waiting for you to listen. If you want to discover more hidden truths from history's greatest minds, stay with us.